Alright, here we are. I'm not quite sure where I am actually. A service station, especially one of those service centres off the Hume Highway. All the others off my luck of the draw, all the others I passed had the McDonald's and the Subways and the multiple choices of food outlets, and then I'll come to about 70 kilometres out of Melbourne, just a service, ample service station, just a service station there, foodery, what they call it. So I've got my coffee, got a toasted ham cheese, still a couple of hours for me till I get organised, and then we'll see where the next adventure takes us from there. So enjoy, coffee time, something to eat, get off the bike for a while, have a bit of a numb bum and enjoy the rest of the ride. I will see when we get to the end and say cheerio and start the new one. All the very best. See ya. Bye. Cheers. Hello YouTubers, here we are. Where to today? Well, I was going to say Geelong, but I'm thinking the sign saying Spirit of Tasmania might give it away a little bit. On to Tassie for 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks. We'll have a little look around. So overnight ferry from Geelong to Tassie, Devonport. Where to today? Tasmania. So from here we're going to head into the Geelong foreshore and catch up with the rest of the crew that got down here a couple of hours before and having a bit of lunch. And from there back onto the boat in Tasmania. Here we are, Spirit of Tasmania, waiting. As I say, hurry up and wait. Are you hurrying up and waiting?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of hurrying up and waiting at the moment, yes.
Well, the hurry up and wait is finally over and we're finally moving. It is a slow, nail-paced process, unfortunately, to get on board, but yeah, up on board we go, park up the bike and find the cabin. Just for the sake of it, the current Spirit of Australia holds about 1,400 passengers, is about 195 metres in length, and they talk about having 2,500 metres or lane metres for vehicles. There's a couple of new ships being built. They're actually 212 metres, so another 15-20 metres in length. They'll hold 1,800 passengers, so an increase of 400 passengers, but almost twice the amount of space for vehicle parking, with 4,000 metres of lane space. Those ships have been built, but the little hiccup was that there's no room, well they're too big now to berth in Tasmania. So they're currently in the process of expanding the berthing area, the docking part of the harbour.
First gear, steering unlocked.
To allow these ships to dock. So they're built, but they can't be put in use yet, they're too big.
Good evening ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the captain and crew, we welcome you on board Spirit of Tasmania 1 and look forward to making your journey to Devonport an enjoyable one. Our safety message will now be played. Please listen carefully to this important information.
I ain't got time for that. I got stuck with that. Alright, here we go. Hello. Where to today or overnight from Geelong through to Devonport in Tasmania. And there's a group of us doing a motorbike ride through Tassie for about 14 days, I think. So with us today, where to today? Tasmania. Come for the ride. Hopefully enjoy. All the best. Thanks. Bye. Well, good morning YouTubers, here we are, Tasmania, off the ferry. Well, it's the following morning and around about 7 o'clock AM. As you see, we're off the boat, or getting off the boat. through their sort of harbour setup. Hard to stay together as a group, so find our way off individually, and then we just do a bit of a regroup around the corner here, and then try and find some breakfast. So across the river in Devonport and around town a little bit, we finally find a coffee shop open. It does some bakery and a bit of breakfast. More importantly, to get the coffee. We grab that, a couple of photos, show where we are, and then from there we head up the coast. So for us from Devonport, we're going to head northwest through to Stanley for an overnight stay, or a couple of nights in Stanley, but via the coast. So we're going through towns of Penguin and Wynyard and Burnie and a few others. Here we are for breakfast. Well, just a bit of an overview of where we go through for today. So you can see us backtracking a little bit through Devonport as we try and find a coffee shop or cafe that's open. Most were closed, but we found one. And nearby were these murals on the wall, which were quite nice. But yeah, here we are, Devonport, backtracking on a couple of our tracks, looking for this coffee shop. Finally have the coffee, and we head off. So all the way up the coast through Ulverstone. A couple of photo shoots as we move along. We stop at Penguin for a bit of morning tea and a bit of a stretch the legs, a bit of a walk around. Continue on past or up through Burnie, along the coast and through to Wynyard or Wynyard, the Motor Museum, have a walk through that, and then go down for lunch at the coffee shop. The coffee shop is actually an old bank, and one of the toilets there is been built into the old vault. It's quite impressive. And also on the walls of Wynyard was some photos on the RSL club. These photos made up of the thousands of little photos that create the photo in itself. On the way through we go to Rocky Cape, see the lighthouse and some tulip farms. And eventually we get to Stanley, which has got the big rock monolith, and I'll get some photos of that for you as well. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoy the ride with us, and yeah, see some scenery and enjoy the travel. All the best. Bye. There's a knob, and that was it, a total of about 150 kilometres. About a 3.5 hour ride. Well, we've left Devonport and we've got down the coastline, and we're actually at Penguin, a little town of, I think they had 3,000 people. Make the township of Penguin. There's the post office and a letterbox, for want of a better word, on the coast. We're just passing through the town of Penguin. Around about 3,000 population, the coastal town. Lovely little village, town. Lovely houses, all want the view of the water, and most of them get it. It's quite undulating, there's a fair few hills they can perch themselves up onto. And a nice bit of beachfront. Yeah, that's Penguin, and we move on. Here we are in Wynyard, and we're going to have a look at the wonders of Wynyard. A little motor museum and some other stuff in the background. Already got my ticket to go and get the camera out the bag. Some better shots actually. There's a little Teddy behaving himself. There's the old fella. Lead of the group. And here we go. Motor Museum, we wandered down to get some lunch, but we passed by the RSL, which had these lovely murals on their walls. Just fantastic when you've got a photo made up of thousands of little photos, and they can use the colour and contrast to make the image they're looking for. I think it's spectacular. There's one here and another one. And after we pass the RSL, there's a little coffee shop around the corner, and a bit of brekkie, bit of late breakfast or early lunch I should say, and a look at their toilet. It's an old bank being converted to a coffee shop, and they've converted the vault into a toilet. Now we're still in Burnie. We come up to the Burnie lookout, the Burnie lighthouse in the background, but also some tulips. So let's get a photo of that for you. Here we are. Now a bit closer to the lighthouse in Burnie. It's the Burnie lighthouse. If you look across, there's all tulip fields. Unfortunately, we'll just recently harvest, apart from the odd one or two. Okay, just coming out of the tulip farm or fields, tulip fields and the lighthouse. Burnie off to my left. And into the countryside we go. Deer, venison. You can tell by the high fences as well. As opposed to cattle, sheep, goat, llamas and lemurs and alpacas and whatever else. Part of the coastline heading north, we're heading northwest, aren't we, Tassie? Don't be shy, mate, go ahead if you want to. Well, we've made it to Stanley, but I've just left the rest of the group. There's a bit of a gravel road, they sort of weren't too keen on going down, but down this gravel road I want to have a look at a bit of the coastline, and then there's also an historic village sort of up on the top of in the hills more so. Then you come down onto the flats to Stanley, where they've got this big monolithic rock, which I'll show you in a minute. This is we're coming up towards the historical village. Here it is. It's actually still a working farm, but just some very old buildings that they're using. It looks magnificent. there's this monolithic rock we talk about, the knob of Stanley, and Stanley's just at the base on the right hand side of that big rock that's sitting out in the ocean there. I'll just pull over here and look over the edge here. There's a bit of hill line. The rest of the crew are down in the car park down there in front of us, and then from there we ride into Stanley. But that's the knob they talk about. Now there's a cable car that goes up from Stanley to the top of the knob, and that will do that and probably finish the video with that bit of footage. Thanks for travelling with me. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and let's see what the cable car's got to show for us.
Shush guys, well that is it.
Who'd like to go first?
Yes, I can up.
Okay, first one's on.
So try and keep my fingers out of the Does it do voice activation? Yeah. The wind is absolutely hooting. Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, chairlift on the nuts in Stanley.
Nice little town, really.
Yeah, it is quite a little town.
Yeah. Only one servo, sells diesel and unleaded.
So on that happy note about the petrol station in the town of Stanley, I'll leave you with it. Just a map showing you where we went today, Devonport to Stanley, gives you a bit of indication. Thanks for travelling with me. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, a like would be fantastic. Comment would be great. I'm happy to respond, but even a subscribe would be really helpful. Helps the channel grow. All the very best. Thanks for coming. Bye.